Did you know that 20% of new businesses fail within their first year? And within 5 years, that number jumps to 50%. But here's the shocking part. Almost 70% of businesses fail because their owners give up too soon. The key to beating those odds? Perseverance. As an entrepreneur, the journey will never be smooth. You'll face setbacks, failures, and plenty of doubts along the way. But what separates the winners from the quitters is the ability to push through the hard times and keep going when most people would stop. In this video, we're going to dive into why perseverance is your most powerful tool. We'll explore the strategies that turn failure into success, how to stay focused when things get tough, and why your ability to keep going might be the secret to your breakthrough. Stay tuned. By the end, you'll have a new perspective on why not quitting might be your best business decision yet. Chapter 1. The Grit Factor. Unlocking your inner entrepreneur. Every entrepreneur has a special ingredient that sets them apart. It's called grit, and it's more than just working hard. Angela Duckworth, a researcher from the University of Pennsylvania, defines grit as passion and perseverance for long-term goals. In other words, it's the ability to keep going when others give up. According to Duckworth's research, grit is a better predictor of success than talent or IQ. This is huge news for small business owners. Your success doesn't just depend on how smart or lucky you are, but on how relentless you are. Building grit starts with a deep belief in your purpose. Simon Sinek, in his book Start With Why, says that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. If you know your why, you'll develop the grit to keep going, even when things get tough. The best entrepreneurs are those who push forward despite obstacles. Consider Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She faced countless rejections, but her belief in her idea was stronger than any setback. She says, "It's important to fail, as it gives you an opportunity to learn." One way to build your grit is to embrace the power of yet. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I can't do this yet." This simple mindset shift helps you move past temporary failure and see every challenge as an opportunity for growth. Keep in mind that grit doesn't mean working yourself into the ground, it's about consistency and persistence. A study from the Journal of Applied Psychology shows that persistence is key. Successful entrepreneurs often outlast their competitors simply by sticking with their vision. Lastly, it's important to surround yourself with other gritty people. According to Duckworth, grit is contagious. If you spend time with people who share your work ethic and determination, their perseverance will rub off on you. So, build a team that can weather the storms with you. Chapter 2. From setback to comeback, turning failures into fuel. Every entrepreneur faces failure. The key is how you respond. Instead of letting failure paralyze you, use it as fuel. There's a famous quote by Thomas Edison, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset can change everything. Failures aren't dead ends, they're just detours on the road to success. Research from the Harvard Business Review shows that failure can actually make you more resilient. Entrepreneurs who fail and bounce back often perform better in the long run. Why? Because they've learned valuable lessons that help them avoid mistakes in the future. It's all about perspective. When you hit a roadblock, don't see it as the end. Instead, ask yourself, what did I learn from this? How can I adjust and keep moving forward? Take Walt Disney, for example. Before creating Disney World, he faced multiple business failures. He was fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination. He also went bankrupt several times. But Disney's story didn't end there. He used each failure as a stepping stone. His perseverance turned setbacks into massive success. A great strategy to embrace failure is to conduct a failure audit. Look back on past failures and identify what you learned. This reflection helps you grow and ensures you don't repeat the same mistakes. A study from psychological science found that people who analyze their failures are more likely to bounce back quickly and achieve long-term success. Most importantly, keep your vision clear. When things get tough, remind yourself why you started. That bigger picture will fuel your comeback. One of the best ways to handle failure is to develop a growth mindset. In Carol Dweck's book Mindset, she explains that people with a growth mindset believe their abilities can be developed through hard work and dedication. This belief allows them to handle setbacks and continue improving. Chapter 3. The 3 a.m. Hustle. How the magic happens after hours. The entrepreneurial journey doesn't happen on a 9-to-5 schedule. In fact, some of the most successful business ideas and breakthroughs happen in the quiet hours when everyone else is asleep. Have you ever heard of the 3 a.m. hustle? It's the time when the world is still, and entrepreneurs are grinding in solitude. Many great ideas and successful businesses have been born in these moments of intense focus. Consider Jeff Bezos. He used to work late into the night during the early days of Amazon. According to an interview, Bezos would often work into the early hours of the morning, thinking about new ways to improve his company. He called it day one mentality, treating each day like it's the first day of your business. It's this relentless pursuit of excellence that powered Amazon's rise. Research from the University of California suggests that people are more creative during the early morning hours. Your brain is less distracted, and ideas flow more freely. This is why many entrepreneurs find their breakthroughs when the world is asleep. But it's not just about working long hours, it's about quality time. As Elon Musk once said, focus on signal over noise. Don't waste time on stuff that doesn't actually make things better. The 3 a.m. hustle doesn't mean you should sacrifice your health. In fact, sleep is essential for long-term success. Studies show that getting enough rest improves creativity and problem-solving abilities. But there's no doubt that the early mornings are a time when entrepreneurs can get a head start. Even if you're not working in the early morning, creating a space of uninterrupted time during the day can help you focus and create your best work. Use this time wisely by developing deep work habits. Author Cal Newport's book Deep Work talks about how the most successful people eliminate distractions and dedicate large chunks of time to focused, meaningful work. It's not about how many hours you work, it's about how deeply you work during the time you've set aside. Finally, remember, the 3 a.m. hustle is not just about hard work, it's about creating a rhythm. Consistency is what separates successful entrepreneurs from the rest. Whether it's early mornings or late nights, find your optimal time and stick with it. Success doesn't happen overnight, but it can happen when you're willing to put in the work, whenever that may be. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay tuned for more strategies on entrepreneurship. Chapter 4. When passion meets pain. The power of pushing through the tough times. Entrepreneurship is full of highs and lows. During the lows, it's easy to want to give up, but that's when the power of perseverance shines the brightest. The truth is, every entrepreneur faces pain, whether it's financial struggles, emotional burnout, or business failures. But as Brené Brown says in Daring Greatly, courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. Showing up when it's tough is often the difference between giving up and pushing through to success. One important strategy is to embrace the pain rather than avoid it. Pain is part of growth. A study published in the Journal of Business Venturing found that entrepreneurs who can tolerate stress and failure are more likely to succeed in the long run. It's about developing emotional resilience. When things get tough, remind yourself that this struggle is temporary, and success often comes to those who don't quit. Entrepreneurs like Howard Schultz, former CEO of Starbucks, faced enormous struggles early in their journey. Schultz started Starbucks with a small loan, and at one point, he was turned down by over 200 investors. But he didn't give up. He believed in his vision. Schultz says, "Don't mistake a bad day as a bad life." This mindset helped him push through the tough times and build a coffee empire. When you're in pain, Another strategy is to reconnect with your why. Why did you start your business in the first place? Whether it's a passion for your product, the desire for financial freedom, or a bigger mission, your why is the fuel that keeps you going. When you tap into that core motivation, you gain the energy to push through even when the journey feels impossible. If you're feeling burned out, try taking a break, but never quit. Entrepreneurs often get so caught up in the grind that they forget to rest. In his book Rest, Alex Peng explains how taking time to recover is just as important as working hard. When you rest and recharge, you're better equipped to face the next challenge with renewed strength. Finally, create a support system around you. Even the most successful entrepreneurs rely on mentors, friends, and advisors when times get tough. Seek out people who can offer guidance, empathy, and encouragement when you're struggling. They can help you see the light at the end of the tunnel and remind you that you're not alone on this journey. Chapter 5. The Art of Pivoting. Perseverance without stubbornness. Perseverance doesn't mean sticking to a bad idea just because you're too attached to it. Sometimes, the most successful entrepreneurs are the ones who know when to pivot. A pivot is a strategic shift in direction. It's about adapting your business model, product, or strategy in response to market demands or new insights. As Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn, says, "If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough." A great example of this is the story of Instagram. It originally started as a location-based app called Bourbon. But after realizing it wasn't gaining traction, the founders decided to pivot to a photo-sharing platform. That pivot led to Instagram's enormous success, which was eventually sold to Facebook for $1 billion. Knowing when to pivot requires an objective mindset. Successful entrepreneurs don't get emotionally attached to their ideas. Instead, they focus on data and feedback. If your customers aren't responding to your product or service, it may be time for a change. The Lean Startup methodology, introduced by Eric Ries in his book The Lean Startup, emphasizes the importance of experimenting, measuring, and adapting. Using data and customer feedback to inform your decisions helps you pivot without losing momentum. Another strategy is to embrace small iterations. Rather than making drastic changes all at once, start by tweaking your product or service in small ways. Each tweak gives you valuable insights and helps you move in the right direction without risking everything. Jeff Bezos recommends focusing on low-cost experiments, which means testing your ideas on a small scale before committing to larger changes. However, be careful not to pivot too often. A constant stream of changes can confuse your customers and staff. Instead, commit to the process and give each pivot enough time to show results. One key indicator that you need to pivot is if the market is asking for something different than what you're offering. Pay attention to your customers. They'll tell you if something's not working. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more insights on how perseverance can change your entrepreneurial journey.